Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of pop.vox.presents. I'm your host, Phil, and today I'm joined by Eric from Fepeste. Eric, thank you so much for
Hello.
joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
We are stoked to have you. Very, very excited. Very glad I've been pronouncing Fepeste correct uh,
Me too.
as
Thank you for
promoting this thing in
that.
recent days. So, yeah. With right off the bat, before I forget, I gotta say hello also to Janelle, who runs our behind the scenes over here. Come say hello.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you for
Hello,
hanging out,
Janelle.
and thank you all for joining us live. And speaking of the band name, just right off the bat, Eric, what does Fepeste mean?
Well, it's a made-up word. It actually
Okay,
comes from a Watashi Wa song from their first album on Betty Rocket, the Lost a Few Battles, Won the War.
okay.
Yeah, so that was a big album for me in high school, and that song was always important to me. So I don't I know it's a made-up word. One time I saw Watashi Wa at a show and asked Seth about it, and I think he said one of his friends just randomly came up with the word. So I don't think it has any real meaning. But to me, based on the lyrics of the song, it just means that God is sufficient for me and all my needs. He is all that I need. I find my purpose and my reason for being in Him. So that's kind of what it means. And yeah, I just wanted to have a band name, even though I'm kind of a solo project. I was using that when I was writing songs, even as far back as like 2007. I was using that name to call my project that, and just even back then, it seemed like every good band name under the sun was already taken.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this one's not taken because it's a made up word. So I'll just use that. But yeah.
Well, I thought that might be the origin. I actually, when I was when we were in college, I booked a lot of shows, like live shows, and we had Watashi Wa play before. It was like right before their first Betty Rocket album came out. They were like
Yeah.
in junior high,
Yeah.
and we had booked what's the other band, Noggin Toboggan. I don't know if you heard
Oh
of
my
them.
gosh.
We
Love
booked
Noggin
them, and they're
Toboggan.
like, hey, I think maybe they were like, I don't know if they're related or just friends or someone's little brother or something was in the band, and like, hey, can our little brother come? And we're like, yeah, sure, that's great. So they
Yeah.
like opened the show.
Well, now Jeremy, the bass player from Noggin Toboggan, is playing with Seth and Watashi Wa
Oh,
now.
really? So this guy,
Yeah.
I don't remember what the connection or who said what, but I just
Yeah.
remember they invited them along. I'm like, yeah, that's great. Let them play. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's
No,
cool.
yeah, Watashi Wa was always a big band for me back when I was younger. I still, love their stuff. And that song was just always meaningful, and I always felt self-conscious of having just my name for the project, you know,
Yeah.
even though I think I have a kind of cool name.
No, absolutely. Well, that's I was. Do you want to reveal your cool last name? Is that cool?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's Jet,
Jet,
right?
Eric Jet. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
Cool
kids
name.
were
It's
asking me like, is that his real name? Is that a stage
Yeah.
name? And I'm like,
No.
I think it's his real name. That
it's
sounds.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's a pretty cool name.
it
Yeah, so I
is.
had to, go with the name that nobody could pronounce that doesn't mean anything for a band name. So,
Well, it
whatever.
works. It's good. It sounds
Whatever.
Italian to me. Like I kind of thought at
Yeah.
first maybe it was an Italian word.
Yeah, I think
Fepeste.
I have some friends that what do they call my project? Iron Pasta or something like that, or something. I think that's what
Fepeste. Yeah,
because
iron.
Fe is iron on the periodic table. The peste,
That's great.
iron
Iron
pasta. Yeah.
pasta.
So yeah.
That is great. I love it. And you do. It's interesting. You say that you're kind of solo, but you definitely have other people that collaborate with you.
Yeah.
One of them is Tia. Is that how you say it?
Taya.
Taya.
Taya. Yeah.
Who sings
She.
vocals? How did that come
Yeah.
about? Working with her.
Well, so she's been a friend for a long time, and her whole family. I've grown close with them over the years, and I actually, for a long time, had given up writing music. I just life got busy. Um, and the first album I released, I actually wrote those songs back in 2014 and started recording it with my buddy Jesse, shelved the whole project, never released it. Um, and through getting close with their family, I don't remember how, but I eventually like showed them, hey, this is this music project I worked on back in the day. And they were the ones who convinced me, like, you gotta release this, like you gotta start doing music again. And so yeah, they were all, Taya and her family were always important, have always been important to this music project. And she writes her own music and she plays guitar and sings. She's got a project called Taya Noel, Noel with two L's and an E at the end. So
okay.
you can look that up. But anyway, she has a project, and so I was like, all right, I'll start doing music again, but you got to sing with me because again, just being self-conscious at being my voice alone, I'm like, you know, it'll sound better if someone who's better at singing will also sing some harmonies with me. So um, just got her to start collaborating with me from the beginning. And yeah. And then I've got some other buddies who will help from time to time with little things here and there. But because it's mostly me, just when the kids are in bed or on weekends, I end up doing most of it myself because it's really difficult to collaborate. Most of the people I know that play other instruments are either live a couple hours away or you know just yeah
Yeah,
it's hard
it's hard.
it's hard to
So,
connect sometimes. So
well, we very much have enjoyed it. I got to show off my collection of physical stuff here, as I like to do. Here's my two
yep,
Fepeste albums,
there they are.
and very cool. We were just discussing beforehand I like the like gatefold situation here
Yeah,
of the most recent one. What you
yeah,
don't know. These
those
are
are
of
all
course
all
available
those
now.
pictures are my kids.
Oh,
Those are all,
Oh,
even
yeah,
the little bear. What is it? A bear?
the werewolf.
Werewolf. Ah.
Yeah, so my youngest, she's 7 now, but gosh, this was, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. For Halloween, she wanted to be what she called a scary werewolf. And
that's so
so
special.
that was her Halloween costume. And I just, took pictures of her in it and wanted to use it for artwork. But yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's super cool. Janelle, in the comments, by the way, if you're watching live, Janelle will be monitoring for comments and questions and stuff, so make sure you do that. And she's also going to be posting links. So, did you find the link to her music?
I did not. I was looking for it.
Okay,
But I will post.
you'll post it.
Okay.
So, look for
Okay.
links in the comments there if you guys want to check that out. So, very cool. So you mentioned that you started writing stuff back in 2007, something like that, and I think you mentioned at some
Yeah.
point that you maybe had another band. What was the band that you were with before? Is it
Oh
something?
man, I was in a bands in high school. I was in a punk band. I taught myself how to play guitar, like using tabs and MXPX and Blink 182 songs. So I wasn't good, but I had a punk band in high school and then started a hardcore band and it was called Every Day at Sinai. It was great. It was fun. Loved it. We did a couple short tours. But then after that I was starting to do some more solo singer songwriter type stuff. Um, and was going to use the name Fepeste, but I just kind of stopped writing music for a long time there. So
Hmm. Now that you're doing music again, do you play live? Have you played a lot of live shows?
no, no, I kind of hate playing live. I get crazy stage fright.
Oh,
So I'll play like, I play bass and sometimes guitar at church, but having to sing in front of people is,
yeah.
terrifying to me. But I did last year I did a house show with Kevin Schlereth.
Oh, okay.
So that's the only time I've played any of these songs like in front of other people.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm hoping to do a couple more house shows this year maybe and try to ease into it. But yeah,
Hmm.
I kind of feel like my songs are better with a full band anyway. Like I write them with a lot of extra parts.
Yeah.
And so when it's like just me and an acoustic guitar, I feel it feels real. I feel vulnerable and naked even more than normal than if I had a band behind me. So it's just a nerve-wracking experience for me. I don't enjoy it.
Well, we'll see in a little bit, but your performances that you have for tonight is just you and an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's super cool hearing, especially, well, we'll get to it, but an alternate version of a track from the album.
Yeah.
And I think it totally works. I'm just saying,
Cool.
don't be afraid to get yourself
Well,
out there. Cause,
well, thank you. But if anybody likes what they hear tonight, go listen to the actual like full band versions. They're better. And Taya sings on them with me. So again, they're better because, her harmonies are great.
it's true. It's different, though. Like,
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed when bands put out like a demo version of the song and you can hear that, or the acoustic version. You can compare them because you hear like all the frills of like a full band recording, but that's when you really get to hear like the meat of that songwriting and
Yeah.
what's really the core of that song. So I like hearing both versions. So that's
Well,
all I'm
thank
saying.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Kevin played at Audio Feed Festival last
Mhm.
summer. Are you going to be
He's
at Audio
great.
Feed Festival this summer?
Are you guys going to be there this summer?
It's possible we might come. So,
Cool.
if you have a chance to
Yeah.
get on there,
I
let
hope
us
to make
know.
it out there someday. It's like a 2-day drive and then maybe a
That's
2-day
true.
drive back. And then it's a lot of time off. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
hard to fit it
understandable.
into my life, but I would
All
love to
right.
get out there. I see videos of it every year and it looks like a lot of fun.
It
So
was super cool. We went just this last year for the first time, and I loved it. So we're gonna try, hopefully, to get back again. So
nice.
anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think you mentioned, and we're gonna hear some music in a little bit, but that you're working on a new album. What's
Yeah.
what's the haps? What's going on here?
I mean, I still got a couple more songs to demo out. And then I'm hoping here in a couple of weeks to start kind of tracking final stuff for it. But I just do it in this room here. I do it all myself. And again, it's like kind of evenings and weekends and when I can fit it into my schedule. So it's usually a slow process and I do it all myself kind of out of necessity. I would love to get other more talented people involved, but it's just not in the cards right now. So um, yeah, I'm hoping to have it done by the end of the year. Out by the end of the year is the goal, but you know what they say about making plans and making God laugh. So
That's true.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to that for sure. And physical release again?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
I won't release something. Well, I should say I won't release like a full album without it being a physical release. I collect CDs.
Yeah.
I used
Yeah.
to collect vinyl, not as much these days as I used to. I can't afford to do vinyl, um, but I'll definitely be putting CDs out because just for me, like I want to have my own album on a CD,
Right?
even if
Just
nobody else
something to look
buys it.
at on the
Like,
shelf.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, people definitely are buying it, and more will buy it. Like I said, we'll share links and stuff again, but available on Bandcamp and elsewhere.
yep.
Yeah, excellent. Janelle, I see some comment things over here. Anyone saying hello or
Well,
anything we need to
I
get to?
asked where people are watching from.
Okay.
And, Chili Big Bear.
Chili
But,
Big Bear. I wonder.
Where Eric's from is chilly as well.
It's true.
And
Yeah,
then
it's a nice day out today.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like snowing and raining out
you
here.
never
So.
know. You never
Really?
know
Yeah.
in Colorado. And then someone asked, what I gotta look at it exactly. What is your favorite band to listen to?
Oh.
Just one? That's a cruel question. I suck at picking absolute favorites of anything.
Yeah. Maybe a top 5.
Top 5. We could get a top 5.
5.
Ah, 5.
Or it doesn't even have to be top 5. Just what are you
Okay, so
what are you
we were
into right now?
So Starflyer, we were talking about Starflyer 59
Yes.
before the show. I mean, he'll always be in the top for me. Jason Martin is incredible and love all of his stuff. Um, Jimmy Eat World, Beach Boys and Bob Dylan and 60s era Motown. Love listening to that stuff so much. There's this artist named Michael Now. He had a project also called Cotton Jones in Page, France. Listen to his stuff a
Yeah.
lot. Lucero, Damian Gerardo. I don't know. I just naming off artists I listen to a lot. I don't even know. I think that's more than 5, but
That's good. That's a good list, though. That's very
Yeah.
good. Speaking of Starflyer, that's actually kind of how I heard of your band in the first place.
Oh.
Is you recorded a cover that wound up being on a compilation put out by Pacifica Records. I think I'm saying it right. Matthew Schwartz of Pacifico.
Pacifier Records. Is that what I think that's what it's called? I don't remember.
Well, I think it's like blended together, like Pacifica Records.
Oh, yeah.
I could be wrong, but it's Matthew
you're
Schwartz
right.
of Pacifico.
There's a song on there, and I don't remember what the label's called, but yeah, Pacifico, Matthew
Yeah.
Schwartz. Cool
And
dude, yeah.
it's a cool guy, so I want to give him a shout out. And that's how I
Yeah.
first heard of Fepeste, is from that compilation, and then kind of started digging in a little more into your output and found your other stuff. Ordered some music from you, and here we
The
are.
rest is history. I do have a couple more. things to say when you guys are
Okay,
done.
well, I just have to ask. So the other thing is that when I ordered the CD, you offered like a little bonus EP that had another Starflyer cover on it, and I just really like that one too. It's super good.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah,
So-
I like that one. That one I changed a little bit more away from the original song.
Yeah.
You know, made it a little bit slower in tempo and stuff. It's This Recliner.
This
for anybody
Recliner,
that's
yeah.
wondering.
Yeah,
Off of,
that's right.
Yeah.
I just love
off
that
of the
it's like the
Miami EP.
piano takes over for the opening bit, and
Yeah.
it's very nice. Very good cover
Yeah.
song.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Janelle said we have similar
All
comments
right.
here.
First of all, Phil and Sarah McLean here.
Oh, hey guys. I
love you,
them.
Eric.
I know them. I love
This
them.
music is amazing. So, they wanted to
It
say
is.
that. And then Matt asked, how big is your CD collection? Because you were talking about being a CD collector.
It is to my right. I'm looking at it. I don't know. It's not as big as some, but it's substantial. I don't know. Couple hundred, few hundred, 400. I don't know. Maybe less than
good.
that. Maybe 300. I
Okay.
don't.
It's,
Well, you know what? I did sell some CDs off. So like back in the day, I sold some CDs that I didn't listen to as much. Of course, I ripped them all. I have all the MP3s and files and stuff. But like, I sold some CDs so that I could buy more vinyl. And then I've found in recent years, I've actually ended up selling a lot of vinyl so I could like try to rebuild my CD collection. But I do regret selling some CDs that I did back in the day.
See, and that's why I get rid of nothing, because I don't want to regret it.
Don't encourage him.
My CD collection doesn't fit on the wall next to you there, so
Yeah.
it's kind of ridiculous, but I love it. So
Well, Matt says nice. A well curated collection then.
Thank you.
it's good.
Thank you.
It's good. Did you at least
I
keep
had
your?
some important CDs stolen out of my car. Remember when you got the little CD binders that you take in the
yeah.
car with you, you know? And I had, like I just said, a little 20 or 30 one. There was a travel one. It was just the recent stuff I was listening to. And there were some CDs that were stolen out of there that I still have never been able to replace because they were like super, super rare. Like just a little indie band in California that doesn't exist anymore. You can't find their stuff. So yeah.
I always
super
made
bummed
very
about that.
strict rules about what CDs I would bring in the car, and I never removed them and put in those. The only case I brought, I got these portable cases that you could slide the whole disc in there with the case and everything. So.
Yeah,
wow.
It's real fun to maneuver on a road trip. It's my favorite.
Yeah, but it's important, and I always take it with me. I don't just leave that in the car because of exactly that thing there. So.
Yeah. You live and learn, man.
I know.
I do.
Awesome. Well, you know what I think we should do? Let's listen to the first. We got 2 songs to do tonight. Let's hear the first one, and then we can talk a little bit more because we've been talking about your music. But let's hear just a taste of some excellent songs. So this first one we've got is actually off of. Here we go. It's the opening track of the new album, or the most recent album, and it's called "Open Mouth." Open Mouth, fill it up. Is that the?
Yeah.
Yes, fill it up is the
Yeah.
parenthetical there. And cool alternate version, like you said. This is not the version right off of here. This is a stripped down acoustic version. Very excited to hear it. So let's do it. Let's listen to Fepeste, Open Mouth.
I ain't no bird or flower, I've got real needs, like a house to heat, and kids that gotta eat. My eyes are focused firmly on me, my brow's been working, my hands are sweaty, but they sure don't feel so steady. Wet fleece, now make it dry, haven't I asked you 100 times, yet every time I open my mouth, you feel it, you feel it, you feel it, feel it, feel it, oh now. I ain't no bird or flower, I've got real needs, like a house to eat, And kids, they just gotta eat. Got my mind on everything but you. 'Cause I can't see you like I see the news. I can't taste you like I can taste food. Dry fleece, now make it wet. 1,000 times I asked you yet. Still every time I open my mouth, you feel it, you feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it all now. You feel it all now. You feel it all now. Speak words of eternal life, where we shall not want, where we shall not die. With words of eternal life, they have milled my mouth, you have made them mine. We ain't no birds or flowers, we are sons and daughters. Your tongue's on fire, your word is our water. With words of eternal life, where we shall not want, you have filled my mouth. You have filled my mouth. You have filled my mouth.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that song. I love the imagery, the idea that kind of the twisting of that little biblical concept of the flowers in the fields and the birds in the air, and
Yeah.
you can't eat those.
How'd you like me flubbing the lines there at the end? I flubbed a couple of lines at the end, but I can't remember my own lyrics to save my life.
It's all part of the live experience. That's expected, you never know.
Yeah. But no, Matthew 6 drew from that chapter a lot for the song, and then was it Judges 6 also with Gideon,
the fleece.
Drew from those passages a lot for that song.
The whole album kind of seems to have sort of a theme of this struggling to take these like conceptual promises and struggling with the reality of what you deal with, and I like it a lot.
yeah it's a very anxious album lyrically for me. A lot of it is dealing with my own anxieties and worries and doubts, so
it's weird that like as a listener to music that we enjoy hearing songs about people struggling with things, but I think it's because we relate to those things and it helps to like process it, like hearing, we were talking about the Jason Martin stuff, This Recliner, and some of his albums where he talks about getting old and struggling with things and stuff. It's not because you want to hear them be sad, it's because you like, I relate to this. Someone gets me out there,
Yeah. For me, like when I'm writing, but I agree completely. Listening to other people's music, it means so much when I can resonate and relate to what they're singing about. But for me, writing music is kind of a compulsion. It's actually crazy to me that I was able to stop for so many years, but it was such a joy to start it up again, and kind of it's something I had been missing for so long in my life, because it's kind of a form of prayer to me is how I think about it. I know certain things in my head, but I don't always feel that way. And music is all about feeling and evoking emotions. And so if I can take these words and I can put them in a melody and turn it into music, some of these thoughts, like I can sort of feel these things more than just them being in my head. But yeah, it's a very therapeutic and at times frustrating thing too, but it's something I kind of have to do.
Well, I'm glad that we get to reap the benefits of that process. So,
thanks. Yeah.
One more question about that song in particular. My son wanted to ask, as fellow Starflyer fans, you mentioned your kids need to eat. Was that an intentional reference to Starflyer or just parallel thinking?
No, yeah, that wasn't intentional, but yeah, the song "I Love You Like a Little Bird" off of Dial M.
Yeah,
Yeah, he does say that, doesn't he?
yeah. It's
His
slightly
kids want to eat,
phrased
but
differently, I think, but
he also says the kids want a faster beat
yeah,
in that song. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's a great song. No, the good catch there.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
good
like
catch, Phil's son. I did not
that's Luke.
intentionally do that.
Yeah.
Yes, our kids. That's probably their
Yeah.
favorite Starflyer song. I want to say so.
Yeah.
That one
Oh,
when we were
cool.
listening popped up there.
And Luke in particular has become very interested in Starflyer lately.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Good job, Luke.
I know, right?
taste.
I feel like we've done our job well when our kids
Oh, yeah.
like actually enjoy the music. It's so funny hearing them talk like to friends at school and stuff when they're saying like, "Oh, what bands do you like?" or whatever, and they're like, "Nobody knows what the music we're talking about is, but we don't care. It's cool, you know."
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be happy if my kids like the music I like when I'm older, but I'm not counting on it. We'll see.
You never know. And they definitely like, you know, I played a wide variety of music for them and they've grabbed onto the things that they like. They don't like everything. The hardcore part of my collection doesn't get played a lot with them, you know, but that's okay. They don't have to like it all.
Yeah.
Eric Kennedy
Okay.
had
Hello.
commented when you guys were talking about, you know, how you identify with music, and he said truth.
Truth. Yes.
So
Absolutely.
like that.
Good to have you here, Eric Kennedy.
Yeah. Oh, a funny aside. I should have done it. I've never done it. Hopefully my daughter doesn't watch this. She's sensitive about it. This thing. But the line about, you know, my kids got to eat in the song. I wrote that and recorded it before this event happened, but my daughter had an unfortunate incident with a pool table and a pool ball where she had like her two front teeth completely like broken and knocked out.
Oh no.
And so she had to get her like new fake teeth in there.
Mm-hmm.
And teeth kind of rhymes with eat. And I had thoughts of like, oh, I could say my kids need new teeth. And I told myself I should do that for like live versions of the song, but then I always think like she's kind of self-conscious about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I haven't done that, but you know, if she ever listens to this, she'll now know that I've had thoughts.
That's good.
Of doing that.
Now she'll know. That's great. Oh, poor thing.
Yeah.
Ugh. Dentist.
Dentist. Luke agrees that he knows his Starflyer.
Oh, okay.
So
Good. Okay.
you are on the right track there.
Yeah. Once I knew that you were covering Starflyer, I knew instantly that's a gateway to we're going to get along just great. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, the other exciting thing is that you're going to debut a brand new song on the show tonight.
Yeah.
Is there anything we should know about the song beforehand? This is going to be on the new album.
Yeah. It'll be on the new album. I'm excited about it. I don't know. We can talk about it afterwards. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm kind of excited with the new direction of the album. And I think this was the first song I wrote for the album. I'm pretty sure. And it still remains one of the songs I'm most excited about on the album, but there's a lot of other songs that I can't wait to get them finished and let you guys hear them. So
Very excited too. Well, let's listen to the next one. It's called That's Okay. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's Okay. And That's Okay from Fepeste. Here we go.
They say it's a young man's game. I'm sitting on this bench, feeling my age, and if I've got a part to play, it ain't center stage, then that's okay. They say it's a rigged game, but I ain't here to play. There's far too much at stake, 'cause there are souls that are growing cold, and all we've got is today. Gotta make that okay. His thoughts are not our thoughts, and his ways, they sure ain't our ways. For his word goes out, water in the ground, causing some to sprout and others to drown. Who knows what tomorrow brings? Only he can tell us what any of it means. Oh, come what may, I'll just be here in my lane, giving thanks and singing praise. This world ain't mine to change, and that's okay. There'll be a final day that the song is played, like the grass that fades, and I'll go to my grave and you won't know my name. That's okay, that's okay. Oh, come what may, I'll just be here in my lane, giving thanks and singing praise. This world ain't mine to change, and that's okay. Oh, come what may, I'll just be here in my lane, with the gospel to proclaim. Hearts aren't mine to change, and that's okay. This world ain't mine to change, and that's okay. It's you who reign, and that's okay.
Excellent. Oh, thank you so much for sharing a brand new song.
Yeah.
So
Happy to
good.
do it.
So good.
So good. I cannot wait to hear this on the new album. I'm picturing how you're gonna flesh it out with the rest of the band element, and very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it'd be fun to be able to get inside your head and hear what you're hearing, you know?
Oh,
Compare
It'd be
it.
cool if we could do, yeah,
yeah.
because I'm sure you're hearing some really cool stuff that I'm not hearing and I'm not going to do on it, but I'm like, oh, dang, if I only knew how he pictured it, I could have done those cool things that he was envisioning.
No, it's gonna be cool. I am fully trusting that you're gonna do a great job with this album, because I've heard the old stuff. It's really good. I would recommend to anyone watching this that you listen to the full recording of it, because it really, I mean, it's something special. It's really, really cool hearing all the stuff and knowing that you're doing it all in your room there. Like, it's cool. It doesn't come across as like a cheap recording. It sounds very professional. So
Cool.
excellent job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stressed about that a lot. You know, it's a lot of work and kind of fumbling my way through it. And yeah, but I think I made something kind of cool. So
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So tell us about That's Okay. How did this song come about?
Oh, geez. I think so. The first couple verses, you hear a little bit of that lamenting that I'm getting old thing.
Yeah.
And I think it started as just me coming to terms with, hey, I'm writing music again. Really love this, but I don't have a career doing music. You know, like when I was younger, I always kind of envisioned doing music full time. But my life's very different now, and can't do that, nor would I want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, wouldn't want to be away from family that long or anything. So being in the music industry, they say it's a young man's game. I don't have the freedom to do what I used to be able to do. So I think there was me starting to come to terms with that when I wrote the first couple verses, and then it kind of shifts into just regardless of what comes, rejoicing, you know, as Paul says, rejoice in the Lord always. Rejoicing in the things that God gives us, praising him, finding our purpose and what we're actually called to be doing, you know. and being content doing that. And that's where um it's a difficult thing in life when things don't go the way we want them to be happy about that. You know, looking back,
Mm-hmm.
hindsight being 2020, we can actually be happy about the things going the way they did. But when you're in the midst of it, sometimes it's not like, oh yes, things are not going the way I originally wanted them to, or whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's more like, it's not what I want, but that's okay. And that's where me relenting, um, and just trusting in God that no matter what comes, I'm called to give him thanks and praise, and, called to spread the gospel and those kinds of things. And that he knows better than I, what my life should look like. And, just being able to say, that's okay. And sometimes that's all I can say is I'm okay with that. I don't love it,
Right.
but I'm okay with that.
That's awesome.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I'm rambling, but
No, that's great. I asked, so I'm glad
Yeah.
to hear it. Janelle, you're nudging me over here.
I am. Matt really liked the lyrics to that
Thanks,
last
Matt.
song, and our kids really love your music.
Oh,
said.
thank you.
And there were a lot of like hearts and likes, going during it, and I
Yeah.
can't tell who's doing
That's
that.
okay. That's good. Hearts and likes.
Lots of love, basically.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, I want to make sure before we go that everyone finds out where we can find your music. So where can we find Fepeste? What kind of social media? Where can we buy stuff? Janelle's going to share some links in the thing there.
Yeah.
Where can we find you?
I don't have a website, but I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. And I think it's just at Fepeste, spelled just like it sounds.
Makes it easy.
Not really, but it's all at Fepeste. And you can buy my music on Bandcamp. So.
And there's other stuff outside of the 2 albums on Bandcamp. You got a couple of EPs. One of them.
Yeah. There's the first thing first thing I formally released is Fepeste. I actually wrote some music for my wife and I's wedding like 16 years ago now. And I actually released that as Fepeste and gave it as gifts to people at our wedding.
That's so cool.
But the first official thing that I called Fepeste and put out on the world was an EP with 3 songs I wrote for my wife. And that is up on Bandcamp, but it's not on like Spotify or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's great.
That was me trying to figure out how to get back into recording. So for me, like I'm not as proud, the songs I'm proud of and stuff, but like the recording quality, like I feel like I could have done a better job because that was me figuring it all out at the beginning.
Well, it's a part of the
Yeah.
journey though. It's one of the things I like about Bandcamp is it's all laid out chronologically so you can hear the progression as you go through the thing.
Yeah.
I love that and I kind of did something like this at our wedding, that you took a chance, because that's the one time when all these different people from different walks of life are there to pay attention to just you.
Yeah.
Why would you waste the opportunity and not market something that you're putting out there, right?
Yeah, well, it wasn't meant to be marketed. It was like, so but I hear what you're saying. Yes. The
Mine
songs,
was. I'm just saying I did this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But the songs that like I walked down the aisle to and that my wife walked down the aisle to, and the songs that were used in the ceremony, I wrote those. And I put them on a CD as gifts to anybody that attended the wedding. So
it was not a critique of you. At our wedding, I made stickers that said Phil and Janelle's wedding, and it had the date, and then I put pop.vox.presents at the bottom, because I'm like, why not? Why not get it out there? All these people, they're having it.
You
So
sang to me too.
I did that too, but I didn't write the song though, so I wasn't quite that cool.
What song did you sing to her? Now I'm interviewing you.
No, as a music person, it's Jeff Moore in the Distance. If you could see what I see.
Oh yeah.
I know it's not like the cool thing in the groups to like Jeff Moore, but I love Jeff Moore, so
that's awesome.
And it was great for all the age range.
Well, yeah, that's right. It had a broad appeal. Yeah,
it wasn't a dry eye in the
and it was just me on an acoustic guitar. I didn't, Jeff Moore gets a bad rap sometimes. I know there's a couple of cheesy albums in the '90s, like the album covers are very like early '90s and stuff, but he's a good songwriter.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar. So
okay, well,
but that's sweet of you though.
I'm just saying,
I would have
so-
I would have cried if I was there.
Yeah, a lot of people did. It went
Yeah,
over
I
well.
would have.
Yeah.
I'm a softie. I cry in pretty much any movie we watch. My wife doesn't. She has never cried during a movie. Well, that's not true. I got her to cry during one movie,
Which
but
movie?
we don't. What was it? It was recent too. Oh my gosh, I don't remember.
Not Mr. Holland's Opus. That was mine. Before
That
we
was
married.
your two.
How am I not remembering this? I will remember it as soon as we get off. I'll tell
Okay.
when we get off. I'll tell you.
Let me know,
It was
yeah.
recent, but I cry in every movie, and she teases me. So I know I would have cried at your wedding. I cried every wedding. Yeah.
I didn't before we had kids. I didn't
He
cry at
wasn't
anything.
Yeah.
a crier.
But then once we had kids, like it just tapped into this emotional well, like everything. If there's like a dad and a daughter or a dad and a son storyline, I'm gone, like just
Yeah.
sobbing instantly. So,
Oh, I remember.
oh, what was it?
If anybody else wants to know, A Monster Calls. So it's Liam Neeson plays the voice of this monster. It's about a kid dealing with the grief of his mother having terminal cancer, and the monster is
making me cry
representative
already.
of his grief. But yeah, he's like a little 10-year-old boy, and so he kind of envisions this monster that comes to him, and it helps him deal with his grief. But it's a book. It's a beautiful. If you can find a book with the illustrations in it, beautiful illustrations. Cried like a baby reading this book. The movie is not nearly as good as the book, but because both her and I had read it, like we could fill in the gaps.
Right.
I mean, very sad, very sad.
We'll let her know that's a
Yeah.
pretty good one to cry at. Then
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
say, like based on the subject matter. Yeah, don't feel too bad
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
There's a couple more comments.
Okay.
Phil asks, any live performances coming up?
Maybe. Well, in April, I think Kevin Schlereth is coming back through Colorado. We're going to do another house show, I think April 20th. And then I don't have anything on the books, but hoping to do maybe a couple more house shows. But that's just around here. I don't know where you live, Phil. If you live around Colorado Springs, come on out.
I
But,
think it's your friend Phil.
My friend.
Oh,
No.
Phil. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
your
Phil
friend,
McLean.
Phil.
Okay, sorry. That Phil, yes.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I'm
if he
trying to
lives
get a house show set up in Denver if you guys wanna host.
Oh,
you guys are up there.
There we go.
But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully doing just some solo acoustic stuff soon, but nothing in the books yet.
All right.
Eric says you guys should go on a wedding tour. And
We'll be like Adam Sandler. We'll be the wedding singers.
That's right. That's
Yes.
great.
Yeah, we'll just go sing at people's weddings, make them
The
cry.
best man, the better man.
And Luke, our son Luke, said Audrey never cries during movies either.
That's true. My
She's-
daughter,
she's the non-crier. In the
Heart of
family.
Stone.
man.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
The rest of us are all sobbing. She's like, what?
So yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
relatable.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for writing comments. Janelle, you shared the stuff
I did
in the
share the
links
stuff.
in the comments. They're excellent. So please, everyone, find Fepeste, listen to the music, buy the music. You will not regret it. And Eric, thank you so much
Yeah.
for being here tonight. I really
Thank you.
appreciate you doing the show.
So honored that you guys wanted me to do this. I like I was telling you guys earlier, I've become a fan of your channel and loved a lot of the artists that you guys have interviewed recently or in the past, so just honored to be part of it. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you watching, and we definitely, if you're up for it, would like to have you come back and talk about your new album, when that's up and ready. So
Yeah.
we'll keep you in mind there for the future.
Cool. I'd love
Awesome.
to. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for listening, and I think that's going to do it for this episode. Please go and support Fepeste. Tongue twister there. Please go and support Fepeste. I almost made it through the whole one with that one too. Please go and support Fepeste, buy the music, and join us again for another upcoming episode. We have the PH Project coming up in a couple weeks. Very excited to have them back and talk about their new record, and a lot of other great artists coming up. So thank you all for being here, and have a great night. And we'll see you next time on Pop.vox Presents. Good night, everybody.
Good night.